Today we're going to talk about how you can get residency in Argentina. And if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to tell you who Argentina is for and who Argentina is not for. Before we talk about the residency requirements and process, I wanted to touch very briefly on some basics about Argentina. Argentina is a country located in South America. It is a Spanish-speaking country. Argentina borders Bolivia and Paraguay to the north, Brazil to the northeast, Uruguay to the northeast, and Chile to the west. When you hear the word Argentina, you think about diverse landscapes. You think about Lionel Messi, the soccer star. You think about wine. You think about steak. You think about so much that has to do with culture, like the salsa. You think about so much good, so much positive. But very recently, Argentina was in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And you guys know what I'm talking about here. We're talking about inflation, political problems, civil unrest, and much more. However, now that Javier Milei is in charge of Argentina, certain trends seem to be reverting, but only time will tell where Argentina will stand in the not so distant future. However, the trajectory looks better today than it did 2 years ago. All right, let's talk about how you can get residency in Argentina. I wanted to discuss the Rentista visa with you, which is a visa available to people with a fixed income. If you can prove that you have a fixed income from a government, or if you have like dividends, if you have like rental income, if you have any passive income and you can prove the source of the funds and that the source of the funds is reliable, then you may qualify for Argentina's Rentista visa, which is a temporary residence permit. It can be converted to permanent residency, and you can also convert to citizenship in just a few short years. All right, let's talk about the financial requirements for you to qualify for Argentina residency for the Rentista visa. Now, there is a minimum income requirement, as there is with many programs worldwide. And basically, it's whatever the minimum monthly wage is, and obviously that's set by the government. Now, the minimum wage used to be lower, but it has gone up. And let's say you want to bring your spouse along. Let's say you want to bring your children along. Let's say you have underage children, so that's under the age of 16, and they do not need a criminal record certificate, only if they're older than 16. And so even if you have a wife and say one child, you don't need any more income. However, let's say you have a family of 6 or 7. In this instance, you may need more income to get approved for this visa. What you also need is a criminal record check, okay? So if you're in the United States, if you are from the United States, if you have resided in the United States, you need FBI clearance. Okay, so Argentina looks at your history, at your criminal history, your background, for at least 3 years. So wherever you have spent at least 1 year during the past 3 years, let's say you have spent 1 year in the United States and you have spent 2 years in Paraguay, then you would actually need 2 background checks. One from the United States, so you would get FBI clearance, and the other one would be from Paraguay because you spent more than a year in both countries. If you have only lived in one country during the past 3 years, meaning you have not spent more than 1 year in any country other than your main residency, then you only need the criminal background check from that country where you have spent at least 1 year, or actually the full period. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Your wife or your husband, they also need a background check. As I've pointed out earlier on, if your children are below 16, they do not need a background check to qualify for this visa, right? Because you petition them, so they don't need that. And of course, you also need to prove your income, right? So you've got to bring, let's say, your bank statements. If that money has been transferred to your bank account, you have to show that, because the Argentine government, they want to see where the money originated from. So what you do is, you do this with your bank and you get the bank statements, and there may be additional documents required as well, depending on the source of funds. And there's so many options here and that we don't really want to break them down individually. However, they want to see at least 3 months of track record to make sure that that payment that you generated is actually consistent. What's good about Argentina is that the country does not require you to provide your birth certificate, which has been a problem to a lot of people, especially in this time where we're living in, where there are a lot of immigrants living now in certain countries and they were born in other countries and they want to apply with their new citizenship. However, their birth certificate is from a different country, and that often complicates the visa application process. So the good news is that Argentina does not require you to bring your birth certificate with you. There are a couple things you also need to complete while you're in Argentina and before a residence permit can be issued. So there are a couple things you need to do in your home country, and there are a couple things you need to do in Argentina. Unlike many other Latin American countries, Argentina expects you to establish your domicile in the country. However, Argentina does not operate by a territorial tax system. Argentina taxes its residents on their worldwide income. So if you bring income with you into Argentina, you're gonna have to pay taxes on that income. Anyway, let's go back to the documentation that is still needed for us to discuss right now. So basically, you need to establish your domicile in Argentina because Argentina wants you to live in the country for most of the time. Argentina is not the kind of country where you want to live for like a few weeks a year. This is not what Argentina Residency is for. This is not who Argentina Residency is for. Argentina Residency is for people who truly want to live in Argentina, who want to pay taxes in Argentina, and who potentially want to become a citizen of Argentina. So you need to establish your domicile and prove it, okay? So you need to get an apartment, pretty much. And then secondly, you also need a local police certificate, which is pretty standard. You also need to get your visa verified. What about the turnaround time? This is a very important question. Oftentimes, depending on where you're located, it takes actually more than 3 months to get residency. And in Argentina, it can actually take as long as 6 months to get residency. I know this is probably an extreme example or an extreme case, but typically it takes anywhere from 3 months to 6 months. Before we talk about who Argentina is for and who Argentina is not for, let's talk about some requirements and laws. Let's talk about double tax treaty laws. The concept of double tax treaties is a very important concept because you want to avoid double taxation at all costs. And so what this says is that if a country, let's say the country of Argentina, has a double tax treaty with the country of Spain, then you're not going to pay taxes in both countries in many cases. However, if there is no double tax treaty in place, then you may end up paying taxes on all of your income in both countries. For instance, if you are a citizen or resident of the United States and you also decide to become a resident of Argentina, then you may have to pay taxes to both countries, which would be disastrous. At the time of shooting this video, Argentina has double tax treaties with the following countries: Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Bolivia, Canada, Chile, Finland, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Mexico, Norway, Qatar, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, and the United Kingdom. If I haven't mentioned your country right now, there's a high chance that Argentina does not have a double tax treaty with your home country. Here's an important requirement for temporary residency in Argentina. You are supposed to stay in the country for most of your time. This is how Argentina works. You can be out of the country for a maximum of 90 days and not draw any red flags. But if you were to, say, spend just 2 months out of the year in Argentina, you may be running into problems. And Argentina is quite strict about that. Let's say you get residence in Argentina in October this year. You are not expected to pay taxes on your worldwide income in Argentina during year 1, because as I've pointed out, it takes about 3 to 6 months for you to get residence in Argentina. And so the authorities know it's quite unrealistic and unreasonable to expect a new resident to be paying taxes during the first year. However, let's say you want to stay in Argentina for 2 years and then you leave, you would have to pay taxes in year 2. And you would have to pay taxes on your worldwide income during year 2. And of course, if you stay for 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years, you would have to pay taxes during all of those years you stayed in Argentina. And like I've pointed out, this applies to your foreign sourced income as well as your local income in Argentina. So who is Argentina for? This is a big question. I feel like if you want to live in a country that has a territorial tax system, which is important to a lot of you guys, then maybe Argentina is not the right place. Argentina is really for people who are looking for a new home, who want to relocate to another country, who want to relocate to South America, and you want to, build a new base. You want to have your main base in Argentina, and you don't mind paying taxes on all of your income in Argentina. If that's the case, then Argentina is for you. Who else should consider moving to Argentina? Argentina is a country rich in history, rich in nature, in sceneries. It's actually a very diverse country. So if you're into that, if you want to live in a big country, and now that Argentina's politics is changing, is shifting, and there are positive changes on the horizon, I think it's worth it. If this is important to you, if you want to live in the country for the long term, and you want to have as much as you can have in a given country, you want to have access to ski resorts, beaches, mountains. You like being in an international place. For instance, Buenos Aires is an international place. If you want to be in an international place, then the capital would be great. And Argentina is also for people who want to learn Spanish. I think this is very, very important, because to live in Argentina for the long term, you do need to speak Spanish. However, if you just want to spend a little bit of time in a country that has a territorial tax system where you don't pay taxes on foreign sourced income and where the residency requirements are quite flexible, then I recommend you to look into Paraguay, a country that we are heavily backing in recent years. Paraguay has a territorial tax system. It has very low minimum stay requirements. That's for residency, and a few more perks that are really incredible. And if that's what you're interested in, then Paraguay is a better place. If you want more flexibility, then Paraguay is better than Argentina. If you want to take advantage of low taxes or lower taxes, then Paraguay is also better than Argentina. However, in terms of sceneries, landscapes, things to do, Argentina is better. Argentina has more value. What are your thoughts on the residency option that I discussed with you in this video? Are you currently living in Argentina? Are you looking to relocate to Argentina? If you need any help with this process, we would love to work with you. Please feel free to contact Nomad Elite at any time. You should see our website displayed right below the video. Shoot us a message, and we would love to help you obtain residency in Argentina. Thank you so much for watching Nomad Elite, and before you turn off this video, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, hit the like button if you can. We appreciate it, and we see you on the next video.